Hey everybody, welcome back to Odds Jam. Jared here, just coming to bring you a little video today. I want to go over the 10 things not to do as a sports gambler. These are the 10 things you want to stick by. You don't want to do these. You want to do the exact opposite, and this will make you a long-term profitable bettor as long as you stick to your strategy and then cover these 10 tips that I'm going to give you of things not to do. So first off, we want to start over at Odds Jam. We're going to look at the arbitrage tab as I do every day, multiple times a day. I state this in every video. I can't emphasize it enough to check this daily. 3.14%, 3%, 2.6. I mean, some good opportunities right now. These are all going to be coming, it looks like, on Saturday and Sunday with some football. We do have one tonight with some hockey. There's been a couple throughout the last 2 days with some hockey props. I know goals, points, and assists. I've had a couple that I've jumped on for those. Also, we have NBA starting next week, so we're going to have a lot of opportunities. And if you're not signed up for Odds Jam with this many sports going, you're missing out. We're going to have all the major sports going at one time, so don't miss out on that. And then also a lot of positive EV opportunities as well. This has been hot this week. I have found a lot of value, made a lot of profitable bets, and really done well this week with the positive EV strategy. As you can see, we have a 12%er tomorrow with San Jose State and San Diego State. Pinnacle is stating that San Jose State money line should be plus 274. And then at Barstool, Bet Rivers, and Twin Spires, you're getting it for plus 340. So you're getting a big time underdog, even bigger value by going to one of those three sportsbook. And this is why you always compare the lines of what you're going to be doing. So now I'm going to jump right into my video and go over the 10 things not to do as a sports bettor. So number one, don't bet your own team. And I fell into this trap right when I started sports gambling and getting into it for fun. Now I like to think I'm more serious about it, but don't bet your own team. You're biased. You think your team is better than they probably actually are, or you think, hey, they're playing a good team, they're going to get smoked. It typically doesn't happen like that. These lines are made for a reason, and just because it's your team doesn't mean you can, predict exactly what that team's going to do. Just because you have that passion behind it, I would stick away. I'd stay away. I know you want to bet on your own team. I know it makes it even more fun to watch the big game when you got $100 or $50 on your own team, and then they end up winning or whatever it may be. But as a long-term bettor, if you want to be profitable, stay away from your own team. Number two leads right into that. Don't make biased picks. So that can be your own team, or that could be another team. I see a common one is, I'm a Detroit Lions fan, so everybody hates the Green Bay Packers. If my strategy were, oh, screw the Green Bay Packers, I'm not a fan of their team, so I'm going to fade their team. That's not a smart thing to do. They're a good football team. They've been a good football team for a long time now. So I think you need to really look at the broader picture and just focus on what's at hand. You're here to make money. You're here to find a discrepancy in sports books, and you're here to find the best line. We're not here for opinions. That's out the window. Number three might be the most important, bankroll management. So whatever your unit size is, and a unit is how much, I like to do 1% of my bankroll as a unit. So if I have a $1,000 bankroll, $10 is going to be a 1 unit bet. I will go up to about a 3 unit bet. That's the highest I ever play. And this is just because you go on cold streaks. If you lose 4, 5, even 6 days in a row, which is very unlikely, but in the sports gambling world, I think it's happened to everybody. You don't want to deplete your whole bankroll. You don't want to go through, if you have 3, 4 bets out a day over a course of 4 or 5 days, you could lose a couple $100 just betting $10 a unit. So we don't want to be throwing out $200, $300 bets with only 1,000 in our account, because 2 or 3 losses can put your account in zero, and then that's not what we're here to do. We're not here to spend that much money and lose that much money that quick. This is a long-term thing. This isn't a get-rich-quick scheme. It's not going to happen overnight. Bankroll management, stick to it. You don't want to chase. That's what people love to do. If they're either have a big day, they say, oh, I'm up. I can bet bigger. I'm on a hot streak. And then they might lose it all, or vice versa. If they're on a losing streak or lost the previous day, they might double down or triple down. You do that 2, 3, 4 days in a row, then you're stressing. You're stressing out. This is supposed to be fun. You're supposed to be looking for value. You don't want to be stressed out while doing it. Number 4, don't take extremely large underdogs all the time. So you might look and see, minus 300. When baseball's going on, the New York Yankees seem to always be big favorites. If they're playing the Orioles or the Tigers or the Indians or teams that they're real better than, they're going to be those minus 300 spreads. And you're thinking, oh, minus 300 is not going to lose. They're that high of a spread. Yeah, that's great. Don't take them on the money line. Take them on the run line if you like it. Find another bet that has some value to it, because taking minus 300s, you have to win 3 out of every 4 bets to be profitable long term. And that's tough. So you could hit 3 in a row at minus 300 and then lose that 4th one, and you're right back to even, if not a little bit less, because you got to pay the juice. So I don't like taking those. I would rather take a bet, at even or plus money. Don't get me wrong, a minus 110, minus 115, there's nothing wrong with that. Plus money, you sprinkle those in here or there, then you really only have to go, 52 to 53% to be a profitable bettor. If you're betting those minus 250 to minus 400 spreads, you have to be a 70 to 80% bettor to be profitable long term. And that's very difficult in this industry. So make sure you're not just always taking those extremely large spread. There's not a lot of value there. If you're going on the EV calculator, sometimes you might find the value. If there's, one book has them at minus 300 and you can get them at minus 200 or minus 180, then there's some value there. It's just, if all the books have them at minus 300, there's no reason to take it. Number 5. So this is be careful with parlays. So a 2-team parlay, in my opinion, there's nothing wrong with that. Either or a 3-teamer, if you have a heavily favorite in there, like I just said, those minus 300, minus 400s are okay in a parlay, but I really don't bet more than 2-team parlays, and that's because the books want you to take parlays. That's why they give you such good odds, is because your chance of hitting 2, 3, 4, I know your chances when it gets 4 or more legs is extremely, that your odds go down extremely low, because that's why all these books run the risk-free promos if it's 4+ legs or more, because they know that their odds long term, they're going to be profitable. They're going to make a lot of money off of us gamblers, and that's not what we want to do. We want to make money off them. So stick to your single games, stick to your 2-team parlays here and there. I don't do them every day. It's only when I find a good situation, or even a teaser, similar to a parlay. But 3, 4, anything more than that is just, I know with sports betting being legal now, FanDuel and DraftKings are posting all these tickets of people just absolutely hitting these crazy parlays for, there was one on the Detroit Lions for, I think it was $750,000 off of $25 free bet. Don't get me wrong, that's awesome, but that is literally 1 in a million, and that's just tough. That's just tough. You're going to lose your bankroll doing stuff like that. So stick to your single game plays. Stick to a couple 2-team parlays if you see a good value here or there. I know some of the time we run some boosts. FanDuel or DraftKings will have a boost where they boost 2 big favorites to win. If you see that those teams are going to win, if that meets in your model and you go through your steps and that fits, then take it. That's okay. Number 6. You didn't think I was going to leave this one out, did you? Use OddsJam. Use OddsJam. Use OddsJam. You just saw me use the positive EV calculator. You just saw me use the arbitrage section. Use OddsJam. And I can't say this enough. You have to shop around. You have to shop around and find the best line. And I know, for example, I'm in Michigan. I think I have 8 or 9 books that I'm signed up for. I don't have enough time to go through each and every single one of those books to find the best possible line. That's why I go to OddsJam. When I am looking to make a bet, and I either, if I find it on the EV calculator, or I just have a personal bet that I did some research on and found that's what I like, I immediately go to the odds section. I find the sport, I find the game, and I find the best odds, and I go to that sports book, because a lot of the times, say I'll pull up a book when I'm doing my research. Say it's FanDuel. I pull up FanDuel. I'm just checking out the line just real quick. And then I do my analysis. I say, okay, I have this guy projected at this many yards or whatever it may be. So I'll shop around, and then, I might see that DraftKings has that line 2 yards lower, and I can get the same juice at minus 110 or minus 105. So it's a no-brainer. You want to get all the juice you can. You want to get all the yards you can in your favor, because this is a long-term thing. I keep saying it. This is a week in, week out thing, and you might think, oh, minus 110 to minus 120 is not a big deal. But if you're placing over the course of a year 500 to 1,000 bets, and you're losing 5 to 10 cents each time, on the dollar, that can add up. Even if you're a $10 bettor, if you're betting 5,000 in a year, you're talking 5 to 10 cents per bet. That could be a lot. So always, 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 whatever play you like, go to OddsJam. Double check you're getting the best possible line, and go to that sports book and place that bet. Number 7, learn from your losses. So I always, after a bet loses, I look at it and I try to, go back to my analysis, go back to my whatever I took. Obviously the positive EV bets, we're looking for strictly value there. So I'll go and analyze, what I saw, what went wrong. So, in the NFL, if I think, X player is going to have over 45 receiving yards and he only had one catch for 10 yards, I have to go back to my analysis. What was the matchup like? Did they put a different guy on him? What did I see wrong? Was it the quarterback? Was it the defense? Was it the pace of the game? Whatever it may be, and then I put a note next to it. So then when I go back to not necessarily bet on the same guy, but make a similar bet, or I want to bet on that team later in the season or against that team later in the season, I'll have that note right there. So I know, okay, they might, they throw different schemes at them. They do different stuff that they don't, they switch it up every week. Whatever it may be, I always take notes on my losses, and I always go from there. Number 8, don't bet to bet and don't put in too many bets. This is a 2-part in one. So I'll start with the first part, betting to bet. So we don't have to bet every Monday Night Football. We don't have to bet every Thursday Night Football. We don't have to bet every night. I don't bet every night. You just have to find the best opportunities. And if your model states that you find an opportunity every single day, then that's completely fine. But don't bet just to bet just because you feel like there's a football game on and you have to bet to enjoy it. Either watch it for pleasure, or you don't even have to watch it if you don't want to. If you want to do something else, But I hate seeing people bet just to bet. They have to bet on Thursday Night Football. They have to bet on Monday Night Football. And those are the games and those are the days that will really, really diminish your bankroll. Obviously, Sundays we have a ton of games. Saturdays there's a ton of college football games. So with that many games, there's a lot more opportunity. When you're looking at just one football game, it might be tough to find an edge. It might really be tough to find an edge in that game, and you might just force a play, and that's the last thing we want to do is force a play. Second part of that is too many bets. So that can go hand in hand with the Monday Night Football, Thursday Night Football. You don't want to be placing, 5 to 7 bets when there's one football game. I see these crazy same game parlays that people are posting, and it's like a team can only get so many yards. You have 5 or 6 guys in the same football game that you're expecting to go over in their yards prop. That's very unlikely. You typically see your top, 1, 2, or 3 guys in the game really have good games. You don't see, a whole receiving core have like a great game. You'll see the star receiver or the, whoever it may be have a breakout game, whatever it is. But typically you don't see, 3 or 4 or 5 players, the running back, all the wide receivers and the quarterback all have a great game. Like it's just really tough to guess that many different positions. So stick to the bets that fit your model. Don't reach, don't put too many bets in, and don't bet to bet. Another common one I want to bring up that I see a lot is, you'll be hanging out with some friends and your buddy has a bet on Alabama, first half, whatever it may be. And you're like, oh, I got to tail that. You didn't do any research. You're just blindly tailing. And that's not a good model for your bankroll. We're here to make money. We're here to have fun. And you can do both if you just limit your bets and don't bet to bet. Number 9, do your research. And this also, I have it as a side note tying into the last one I just said. Don't be influenced by friends or Twitter cappers is what they call them. So do your research. Never put a bet in without, a good analysis behind it, good reasoning behind it. You didn't just look and see, oh, the over is going to be 55, so I'm going to take the over yards on Tom Brady. Nope. That doesn't necessarily, is going to happen because the books adjust to the totals. The books adjust to the pace of play. They adjust to the weather. They adjust to the defense they're playing. These books adjust. So the line could be 50 yards different from week to week based on the defense they're playing, based on the matchup. So always do your research. And that rolls into don't be influenced by friends or Twitter cappers. I know personally, I'll have some friends that say, hey, X guy made this pick. I'm going to follow it. He's just blindly following a pick that somebody he doesn't even know made. Doesn't even know the guy. Yeah, the guy seems to be, good and have a winning record, but a lot of these guys don't track their records. And also, you just never know. You never know when they might slip a bet out and you think they're doing better than they are, or you're not tracking your bets or whatever it may be. Don't get influenced by people. Don't get influenced by friends. Always make sure that it's your analysis, it's your bet, and you put the thought and found that bet. And then my last one, number 10, this kind of sums up everything I've said. Use a strategy and keep track of your bets. Another 2-part. So use a strategy, whatever it is. Everybody has a different betting strategy. Some people like props. Some people don't like props. Some people like totals. Some people like spreads. Some people like soccer. Some people like football. It doesn't matter. Whatever your strategy is, stick to it. If it works, stick to it. If it's not working, find the part of the strategy that's not working, fine tune it, and get it to work. If you stick to the consistent strategy, you will win long term. And this ties into rule number 7 that I said is learn from betting losses. So this has to go with your strategy. In my strategy, I analyze a loss. That's my strategy. I have it in my spreadsheet. I put the reason next to it and I go from there. And then that ties into keep track of your bets. Not everybody has time, or not everybody is a Google Excel or I'm sorry, an Excel or Google Sheets person. So you don't have to necessarily have a spreadsheet or whatnot. You can track all your bets in OddsJam, that's for sure. That's what I do. Anytime I take a bet, I just put it right in there and it tracks my EV, my bets, everything for me. So that's the easiest way to do it. If you don't want to do that, there's a spreadsheet. You can do Google Sheets, whatever you'd like to do. I do both. I do OddsJam and then I send it over to my spreadsheet so I can, like I said, I like to make notes on my losses and then just go from there. But always track, because that's the only way you're going to see if you win or lose. And it's also going to help, that ties in with your strategy. It's going to help it, so always do that. So those are the 10 things not to do as a sports bettor. And those are just some tips to make you a better sports bettor. So those are my 10. I stick by those, and I've trained myself in my strategy when I'm, looking for a bet or about to place a bet. Those were the 10 that I follow. And if I know I do that long term, I'll be profitable. So like I said, those are my rules. If you have any of yours, please share them below. I always am open to what other people do and how other people, bet and how they go about their analysis. So if you have some, comment below. If not, thanks for checking this video out, and I'll see you soon.